Two dudes in the cage. We are back. UFC 281 is an absolutely stacked card. There's 14 fights. It's going to take us forever to get through all of these. We're going to try to bring it to you as quick as we can. Man, UFC 280 was amazing. Man, it went crazy. There was a lot of great fights on that. But let's get into UFC 281. First up on the early prelims, we have Carlos Ulberg versus Nikolai Nurmagomedov. And we're starting off with some hard names already, man. We're poor, horrible at these. Carlos, man, he's from New Zealand. He fights out of City Kickboxing with Izzy and all them other guys, Dan Hooker, you know. He's a former pro kickboxer. He's 7-1. His striking accuracy is 62%. He lands 8.91 shots a minute. That seems pretty high to me. His takedown accuracy and defense are both 100%. Bro, I thought that was great. Man, it was amazing. Nikolai, on the other hand, is a freestyle wrestler, but he has 8 KOs, man. And his takedown accuracy is 28%, but his defense is 60%. Nikolai's takedown accuracy may be lower, but that could be because he goes for a lot of takedowns. So that number, because he went for 10 takedowns, but only landed 3. So it's a lot lower number. So my question in this fight is, can Carlos defend all these takedowns? Because to me, he's going to be coming for shot after shot and not get distracted, because Nikolai can knock you out too. So if he's going for the shots a lot and Carlos is constantly worried about defending that, he could get knocked out. But my pick in this fight is going to be Carlos. Matt, what about you?
You know, I was going through this one, and Carlos has that rugby background, and Nikolai's got that wrestling. So can the rugby background give him that solid balance to mitigate it?
Right.
I still think Nikolai's got that power, and I think that's what's going to give him the advantage, as well as his MMA experience. He's got more of it, so I think Nikolai gets it done.
All right, nice, cool. Yeah, it's kind of hard to pick these early prelim winners, honestly.
It is. This card is very good with the matchups.
Sure.
So the next fight, we got Julio Arce versus Montel Jackson. You know, since joining the UFC through the Contender Series, he won but didn't get the contract, took a short notice fight. Julio Arce has won one, lost one. He can finish the fight on the feet or on the ground, where Jackson is a quick fighter and he's got good stand-up. He's also won 5 of his last 6. I think Arce has won his last one. I think he keeps that streak going. I think he loses this one. I think Jackson gets it done, and he's going to win by unanimous decision.
Nice. Honestly, I think I'm going to go with Montel Jackson in this pick for the early prelim pick. Yeah, I'm going with Montel Jackson in this one. Yeah, I think he's going to win. Yeah. Moving on to the next prelim, Matt Frevola versus Ottman Azaitar. Man, honestly, I think Matt's favored to win in this fight. Matt's talking a lot of crap online. He's coming in looking for the finish. He claims that Ottman has never really been tested, and he's gonna bring it to him this Saturday night. So I'm gonna back you up, Matt. Let's see if you can back up that mouth and all that stuff you're saying online. Let's go.
So I don't know if you know this, but Ottman is the one that had the dude shimmy the Abu Dhabi hotel on the 4th floor to get into his room back when they were in the bubble. And he's on a 10-fight win. He's got 10 KOs. He's undefeated. So I think he's just going to have that power. I think Matt's going to come in and try to force his team on it and get caught.
So he has those 10 KOs, but Matt's saying he ain't fought nobody. He fought a bunch of scrubs, and that's why he has a bunch of KOs. And he's saying he really isn't that good.
So
So
he's taking that Cody Garbrandt with Thomas Almeida, saying he fought taxi drivers.
yep. He's fought taxi drivers, bruh. I don't know. He could have fought in B leagues. That's what I'm going with though.
I feel you. I just think Azaitar is he's gonna catch
Right.
Matt coming in, and
this is they've been saying the same crap about the guy from the small island that didn't fight anybody either, and the MMA circuit on that place isn't very good, and he came in and smashed dude on Contender Series. So
trying to get those head games.
yeah.
All right, this next one, Michael Trizano versus. I couldn't tell if it was Seungwoo Choi or Choi Seungwoo.
Man, bro, all of the Chinese names are like backwards like that. I don't know if Chinese names pronounce their names backwards or forwards, and then in America we reverse them. But all the Chinese names are like that.
I think Choi's the last name.
Yeah, but it's like that for Wang Lei in the co-main event. It's like that for all the Chinese fighters, though.
Yeah,
I can think of a bunch of other ones that I've seen or that recently that are like that too.
So for this one, Trizano is the winner of Tough Undefeated, and he hasn't been doing so well since. He's Seungwoo and Trizano are both on a 2-fight losing streak. I think this might be a loser go home just because they're new to the promotion and they keep signing more. So I think this is a loser go home. And I think Trizano's gonna win and stay.
Yeah, bro. I think you're right. The UFC is getting so much talent from everywhere right now. Michael has lost 3 times in the UFC. Seungwoo Choi has lost 4 times in the UFC. Both these people, their stats are like super even. This is like a really close fight. And honestly, I think the winner is to stay. The loser's gonna get kicked out. And I think Seungwoo Choi is gonna win this one.
Ooh.
I know. It's funny, bro. We are so divided. It's all right.
Good.
These early prelims are, man, it's expected.
These ones can go either way.
Right. Yeah, you never know. Right. Carolina Kowalkiewicz versus Sylvia Gomez Juarez. Much better with the Mexican Hispanic names. Thank you. Carolina, she's Polish, obviously. What I thought was cool about her is she studied Krav Maga. I thought that was kind of neat. She also does Muay Thai. She's been in the UFC for a minute, for a long time. Sylvia, on the other hand, she just joined the UFC last year. She's already lost twice. Carolina's lost a few times in UFC as well. Honestly, this could be another one of those fights like the last one too. Maybe not, but I think Sylvia's gonna win this fight. Carolina's lost a lot too. I think Sylvia's she's gonna be hungry. She's gonna come in strong, looking for the win, and she's gonna get it.
So you got Silvana on this one?
Yep.
Good pick. Here's why. So Carolina, she's feeling tough times. 1-5 in her last 6, and she's got good stand up, but she seems to struggle when she gets presented with a all around fighter, someone that can clinch and grapple. And it's crazy to think at one time she was slated to be the dark horse to beat Joanna, and right. Silvana's she's a striker, and I got Silvana winning this. This is going to be her toughest test, and she's going to pass it with flying colors.
Oh yeah, you think she thinks she'll run through her?
I think so. She's got power and she's got that press forward style, and I think Carolina has
Yeah,
issues with that.
yeah. I think she'll win because she presses forward. But yeah, I think it. I was thinking it might be a little bit of a. She's gonna have to work for it though, but maybe not.
It'll be interesting to see because she is talented and she is still like younger in the game. So it'll be see with the bright lights at MSG, anything can happen.
Right? Yeah, no kidding, man.
Now we go on to the prelims, and
Yeah,
looking at these prelims could be a
looking better.
fight night at its own.
Yep, sure for sure.
First fight, we got Andre Petroski versus Wellington Turman.
Yeah,
This is gonna be a fun one. Turman is a BJJ black belt with 8 submissions.
nice.
Bread and butter is getting to the ground, and his striking, it's okay, but I think that's what allows Petroski, a wrestler, that's going to gain the upper hand because he's going to be able to probably dictate. Petroski's never gone to decision. He's could be a disadvantage. We don't know his cardio is. This one is going to go full 15, so that third round is going to be fun to watch. But I think Petroski's going to get it done.
Nice. Yeah, yeah. Petroski's cardio has come into question before in his fights as well. He lost that fight, and then I think he's won 2 in a row after that, something like that. But yeah, like you said, Wellington is a BJJ black belt, so I think Petroski kind of will probably want to stay away from the ground with him, and they both have 4 KO subs. But like in his last fight, Andre Petroski, he was looking fast. He was looking super strong. He looked like a dog to me. I mean, he was looking for the finish. He was bringing it. And as whereas I think Wellington, he can KO you, but he'll probably be just looking to get a submission win, as to where Andre is gonna fight an MMA fight and look to finish him. And that's why I'm picking Andre too. Yep.
Good pick.
Right. Yeah, I think he's been coming hard. He's gonna bring the heat for sure. Yeah. Man, next up, Erin Blanchfield versus Molly Mccann. We got Meatball fighting at MSG. Erin's a BJJ black belt from Renzo Gracie. The only person she lost to is Tracy Cortez, your girl, Tracy Cortez. Molly, on the other hand, is a BJJ purple belt. There is a little bit of worry about the belt level, but you never know there. Molly's an underdog in this fight, but man, she's on a hot streak right now. Her and Patty, and she's like getting popular, and she's kind of coming up. Even though she's like a 300 underdog, I really think that Molly is gonna win this fight, man.
So here's a fun fact. Molly has not won a UFC fight that Patty Pimblay has not been on the card.
Damn.
Patty's not on this. I think that kind of has a little towards the odds,
Yeah.
but I don't think that's gonna affect this fight. She's on a hot streak. She's being flashy.
I bet Patty's ass is gonna be there.
Oh, he'll be there.
I
Yeah.
bet you he will be at MSG. Yeah.
He's gonna storm.
Molly, I bet you. Yeah, he'll be there.
Oh yeah, he'll be there. He's gonna storm the cage when she wins.
Right. So
Meatball KO.
even though he's not fighting, he'll be there. So she's gonna win.
Yeah, I think that'll help her out.
Yeah.
That's a good pick. Looking for the underdog.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm telling you, there's some money right there, bro.
All right, so this next one, Dominick Reyes versus Ryan Spann.
You didn't even give your pick.
I said Meatball.
Oh.
Oh yeah, she's gonna win. TKO, second round.
Second round, I like it. Go.
So with Reyes versus Spann,
Mm.
Reyes has not been the same since he fought John Jones. I'm not going to say he won. I'm not going to say he lost. He fought John Jones. But he's taken some time off. I think he's, recentered himself. Spann, he's got good jiu-jitsu, but he doesn't mind to stand and bang. He doesn't really dictate where the fight goes. He just goes with the flow. And I think with that, it's going to help give Reyes that little edge, because Reyes he'll stand and trade. His chin is pretty good. I mean, he could take some shots, and I think that's what helps him get the victory, and he gets back on that winning track.
Oh, man. Yeah, man, I don't like all those losses Dominick has, man. He really hasn't looked the same. I think he might be one of those guys on his way out, honestly. He's a BJJ black belt. He's got 7 KOs and 2 subs. Ryan's only a BJJ blue belt with 5 KOs and 12 subs. Dude, like you said, he's really good at jiu-jitsu, but he's only a blue belt. He's got all those subs, dude. Man. Yeah. Dominick has 3 losses in a row, man. It's just hard for me to pick him, honestly. So I think I'm going with Ryan Spann in this one. He just beat Eon. He just beat that other guy. He's kind of hot right now, bro. Well, otherwise the other dude's on a 3-fight losing streak. He's seen better days.
I think this fight sets Spann up for pretender contender type, and I think it also puts Reyes as pretender, and then that John Jones decision, it was a fluke, he wasn't the same. So I think Reyes has a lot to prove in this one.
Yeah, he sure does, but I don't know, man. I don't see it. I don't. Sorry.
It's good to disagree.
Yeah, for sure. Right. Yeah. Man, I know we're not going to disagree on this next fight. Brad Riddell versus Renato Maranico. Sorry, guy. Brad is a BJJ purple belt. He trains at Tiger Muay Thai in Thailand, which I think is pretty cool. He's got 5 KOs. He has 2 losses in a row, though, honestly. Renato, man, he's a BJJ black belt. He's a black belt in Muay Thai, whatever that means. He's got 9 submission wins. Man, that loss to Dos Anjos, man, dude, that was absolute war. I mean, that was literally the damage he took in that fight is literally life-changing. Like, take my word for it. He took a lot of shots in that fight. And I'm telling you, man, those shots, that they add up, bro. That should hurt, man. I'm telling you. Dude's a straight warrior, bro. I think he has a grappling advantage in this fight. I think he's just a straight warrior. Brad has 2 losses in a row. I think Renato is just going to be coming in and pushing the pace and just going to be way too strong for Brad and finish him.
So Riddell, I know he's at Tiger Muay Thai now, but he was City Kickboxing with Izzy. He's a little flashy on the feet, and with Renato, he got absolute war with RDA, but he was also on a plane to Brazil, then back, then cut weight, all within 27 hours.
Right after he just fought.
Yeah, 2 maybe 3 weeks.
A few weeks prior.
And he still went to war with RDA, who's got the toughest record in 155.
Yeah.
And I think that's what gives Renato the edge. He's been through those wars, and he was 5-win streak before fighting RDA.
Yeah.
On short notice. So Renato gets it done. He's gonna win.
Put your money on him.
Yeah. All right. Now we're in the main event. Or not, my bad. The main card.
The main card. Yeah.
This one, Dan Hooker versus Claudio Puelles.
Yeah.
This is by far Claudio's toughest fight to date. Is it too big to chew? I don't know. I like his heart
He
and his
fought kind of a
jiu-jitsu.
big name last time.
Kinda. But I think like skill wise,
Otherwise, yeah.
yeah, Dan Hooker is gonna be tough, but Claudio's his jiu-jitsu is so explosive. Here's a fun fact: 3 of his last 5 wins, knee bar.
Right.
Yeah. And that's what Hooker struggles with. He struggles with those top level guys that, he can match in their striking, but not so much in their grappling. I think this sets up Claudio. Here's my prediction. I would love to see an Amani roll into a knee bar, but I think he's gonna get a knee bar and he's gonna grab that leg. Probably not a Manani roll because those are tough to do.
But he doesn't straight do it Chase Hooper style, but he tacks legs. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's gonna attack the leg, and I
Very
think he's
open about it.
Oh yeah, he's gonna grab it. He's gonna get it. He's gonna submit him, and he's gonna get the victory.
Dude, Dan Hooker is the favorite in this fight. Why is Dan Hooker the favorite in this fight? He's lost like 4 out of his last 5, to whereas Puelles is on a hot streak where he's a leg lock monster. He's got leg locks for days, like knee bar, like it's a leg lock, the same. Oh, not sort of, but he's a purple belt in luta livre, which is Brazilian submission wrestling. Yeah, so Claudio and Molly for the underdogs on this fight. I'm calling these 2 underdogs. I'm telling you, these 2 are gonna win. These 2 underdogs are who you should bet on for UFC 281. Claudio is absolutely gonna beat Dan Hooker. I don't care what anybody says.
Oh, I completely agree. When I seen this matchup and I was looking, I was like, "Ooh, this is it's not good for Hooker."
Yeah, Hooker's seen better days. I feel bad for him, man. I feel bad for him. I don't know, man.
It's like those bright light fights. He fought Chandler and Poirier and didn't really show up for those. Fought Gaethje.
Yeah.
He's had tough fights, and I feel like this one's going to be a little tougher than them.
Yeah, it sucks. Yeah, unless Dan Hooker gets some kind of amazing knockout, which I believe Dan Hooker can knock out Claudio if he's not too careful. If Claudio is too relaxed and just kind of shooting and trying to attack the leg without striking and working his way into it, Dan Hooker has a chance to win that fight. Claudio has to be on his A game and come correct. He can't do a Chase Hooper, Amari roll and attack for the leg. That's not going to work on Dan Hooker. He has to fight him and get the lock on him and do it right, which I think he will. But I
think he'll go for a clinch, and then probably a simple, judo trip or takedown and work the submission game. He's not going to go
what he needs to do
anymore. Yep.
Cool. Get it. All right, man. Frankie Edgar versus Chris Gutierrez, man. Frankie Edgar is a BJJ black belt. He's a wrestler. I don't know. He might have been All-American. I think he was, honestly. He hits really hard, too. He's the former champion. He has 2 KO losses in a row, and his last 3 losses are by KO. He has 7 KO wins and 4 submissions. Chris, on the other hand, is only a BJJ purple belt. He has 8 KOs, but only 1 sub. I think this is Chris's first real test as to where Frankie has fought the who's who, man. He's fought a lot of big names. You look at his record and you've recognized every single one of those names. You look at Chris's record and you're like, who are all these guys? I'm not sure if Chris is on the same level as Frankie. I'm really worried about all of Frankie's KO losses. And then if he's starting to age out of MMA. I think Frankie needs to stay on the outside and use his wrestling. If Chris wins this fight, it'll most likely be by KO. I'm really having a hard time picking, but I think Chris is gonna win this fight, honestly.
So I'm pretty sure this is Frankie's retirement fight. And
Dang, I didn't know that.
I think so. He's 41, but he hasn't fought in 372 days. So just over a year
Yeah.
since his last KO. But Chris is, he's on a six fight win streak with one no contest. But again, he hasn't fought the level and the talent of
nowhere near.
even a 41-year-old Frankie.
Nowhere near.
And I think with Frankie, I feel like if this is
fight,
if this is his last fight, unfortunately, it's not going to go his way. But I think Chris is going to get it done. And I think it's going to be a very close fight.
Nice. Yeah. I hope he goes out good. Goes out on his shield at least, and has a good fight for sure.
I do. When I was doing this one, I was like, man, I like Frankie, but when we do these picks, can't always pick who we like.
Right. You got to be honest and give a real assessment. And I just don't see Frankie winning.
Neither do I. I feel like with MMA, age is, especially at the lighter weights.
Yeah, which is something I've.
Yeah,
bro. Just them young dudes are hard to compete with, man. They really are.
Yeah. This next fight.
Yes.
Dustin Poirier versus Michael Chandler. A lot of shit talk per se.
And
Poirier said, I'd rather make hot sauce. And so there was a little back and forth. We knew they were going to fight. Most likely a pre-title eliminator. And everyone knows these fighters will stand and beg. Chandler, Division I wrestler, he says, screw it. I'll use it when I need it, and I don't usually need it. I think Poirier's going to pepper that leg like he does always, and probably one of the best leg kickers in the game.
It's funny.
I think Poirier's going to get it done, and I don't think this is going to be a 15-minute fight.
Man.
If it is, it's going to be 15 minutes of just jam-packed action. But Poirier's going to get his hand raised.
Man, this is another one, like Reese said, you can't pick who you like. Man, I really like Michael Chandler for some reason. I don't know why. I just really like him, dude. Probably because he moved to Nashville. Dustin, man, he's a BJJ black belt, trains at American Top Team. I mean, if you know MMA, you've heard of that gym. He's got 14 KOs, 7 subs. He also is like, with his kicks, I think he's also one of the best boxers in MMA as well. He does really well. He's not the best one, but his hands are up there. As where Michael Chandler is more of a wrestler. He was an NCAA wrestler. He was all American. He has 11 KOs, 7 subs. Michael Chandler, though, man, he comes in super strong, man. He pushes the pace. He comes hard. Dustin doesn't usually fight at that hard of a pace and pushes it like Chandler does. So I think it's interesting. I think if Michael really pushes it on Dustin, he can win this fight. Dustin's favored to win. I think a lot of people think that Dustin will probably knock out Michael Chandler. That he's just a better striker all around. I want to see how Dustin reacts to Michael's pace, because Michael's pace, he keeps a quicker fight than most people do. And I think that's going to throw Dustin off a little bit. He might be ready for it, maybe, but I just don't think he will be. I think Michael Chandler's going to win this fight. I really do.
That's interesting with the pace, just because if Poirier starts with the leg kicks early, is that going to affect Chandler?
Yeah, slow him down really quick. Yep.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Yeah, he needs to do that right away. But to do that, those leg kicks, usually you got to land a couple of them, and it takes a while for it to add up and slow down. Michael Chandler from the bell comes in hot, comes right at him, and makes you fist fight right away. So if Dustin Poirier doesn't stop that and get a distance and set up, he won't be able to get those leg kicks in.
Yeah, if he's on his back foot,
He'll
from the pressure.
he'll just have to box. He'll have to box his way out of it every time. Because if he tries to kick his way out, Michael Chandler will take him down, guaranteed. Any kick Dustin Poirier throws at him in a scramble, Michael Chandler will take him down. I guarantee it. The low leg kicks, outrange to wear him out. Poirier can land those all day. But if they're, Chandler will be looking for those takedowns just to disrupt the striking. Chandler won't do any submissions. He probably won't. If he takes him down, he'll look to strike and ground and pound him.
You think he'll use his wrestling this time just to allow Poirier to think, oh, it's there?
He needs to use it in general. That's how he wins this fight, is he pushes the pace on Dustin, pushes the pace, puts him on the back pedal, gets him on the fence, takes him down, ground and pounds. Dustin works his way up. He keeps striking him. He takes him down again, ground and pound. If Dustin Poirier is landing the kicks and uses him boxing and keeps him at range, he'll win the fight. But I don't think Dustin can do that with Michael Chandler's pace.
That's a interesting little tidbit. I think Poirier is going to be able to control that, like slow it down and control it. So this will be a fun fight.
I think so too. It's a good matchup. It's a good fight. I'm excited. Probably. And if not, Frankie Edgar, Chris Gutierrez for some crazy reason.
Yeah, like a farewell bonus.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
The main event.
Oh, is it? Yeah, it's you? No, I can't remember.
Yeah, I'll do it. I'll let you get the big one. The co-main event is the strawweight Carla Esparza champion versus Weili Zhang.
Yeah.
And what is there to say about this fight? Carla, she won because she threw 5 strikes compared to 4 strikes.
There's a lot to say about Carla besides the last fight.
So just based off her last fight, she did more to win. She is a good fighter. She is the first ever strawweight champion.
Yes.
But I just think Weili's pure strength and power is just gonna be unmatched, and Carla's gonna have a tough night. Remember when she fought Joanna and she just could not get anything off?
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be the same 15 minutes of that. But I also think Weili's gonna
5 minutes
stoppage. Yeah.
I don't think it's gonna go that long. Yeah.
No, I think middle of the second round the most. And I just think Carla's just gonna get outstruck, outmaneuvered. She's gonna try for a takedown. Weili's just gonna throw her off. And then we're gonna set up for that Weili versus Rose trilogy.
There's a lot of history in this fight, though. Carla's a BJJ brown belt. She was the Invicta champ. She was the first UFC strawweight champ. She was a wrestler. She wrestles a lot, almost too much. She's really good at it. But she's been in a lot of leagues herself. She was in Bellator, a bunch of other leagues. She was in the Ultimate Fighter as well. Dude, all of her UFC fights besides one went to a decision. Her wins, all of her UFC wins besides one went to a by decision. That's crazy, bro. Wang is a BJJ purple belt, bro. Yeah, Wang is just gonna absolutely smash Carla, bro. I'm sorry, but Wang is just gonna. She's a different type of fighter. She's not going to Rose Namajunas play around and be scared. I don't know what the hell happened in that last fight, but Rose Namajunas looked like a scared little girl, like something was completely wrong with her in that last fight. And Carla did not show up to fight either. Something was completely wrong there. Like she was just given that title because she was about to get married or something. I swear to God.
It was a wedding gift.
It was a wedding gift. She was like, I'm just gonna go out here and throw like 5 fights and let you get this girl. I don't know. I don't know. What I like about Wang, she started Kung Fu at age of 6. When she was 12, she went to a special martial arts school where she trained in Sanda and Chinese wrestling called Xiao Zhao. But she had to retire early at like age 17 because of a back injury. And then she started she was like working all these crazy side jobs, and she started working in some kind of MMA place to get money. And then they taught her how to fight, and that's how she got into MMA. And now she's the top MMA fighter in the world. But that just goes to show you, like, maybe like the why she has that drive in her, and she came from working a side job to get money to take care of her family because they were so poor, and they, to fighting. It was cool. I like that. Yeah,
Joe Rogan said she's straight from a lab.
right. She's a freak, dude. Yeah, when you
Yeah.
look at her, yeah, I think she's gonna destroy Carla. All right, on to the main event, the fight everyone has all been waiting for. Israel Adesanya versus Alex Pereira. Izzy, he's a BJJ purple belt, man. He's from City Kickboxing in New Zealand. There's a bunch of them on this card, man. He's got 15 KOs. He's a former pro kickboxer. He's got 5 KOs out of 6 of his wins. He's a former pro kickboxer as well. As a matter of fact, these two have fought before, and he's already beat Izzy twice, and he's knocked him out. But is kickboxing and MMA the same? Adesanya has had years and a lot more experience to become more well-rounded, even though not at all times he doesn't show it, and he has shown a little bit of weakness on his back in the fight with Blanchfield at 205, but that's because he was bigger probably and had a harder time getting that more weight off of him. I see what I see in this fight happening, and I see Pereira trying to be way too aggressive. He knows he's already knocked him out twice, so he thinks he's gonna knock him out again. So he's just gonna try to be really aggressive. He's gonna headhunt, and I think he's gonna headhunt too much. And Adesanya, if he's smart, he should look to utilize more MMA in this fight. I know he doesn't normally do that in all of his fights, and he's more MMA defensive, kind of like a Kai Kara France is, to where he looks to be defensive with his wrestling, anti-wrestle, and look to strike and counter strike. Izzy cannot just sit back and counter strike and let Alex look for that knockout shot. Izzy has to come to fight. He has to show up. He has to bring out his MMA tools, and he has to use them. And if he does so, he can win. And I think he's going to do it. I think he's going to show everybody why he's a champ. He's going to come out and try to prove a point, because Izzy loves where he's at, and he doesn't want to, he wants to stay on top.
So one thing I find interesting is, Alex has kept saying, "Oh, I've beat you, I've knocked you out," and Izzy said, "This is MMA, not kickboxing."
Yeah.
I think with that, Izzy's going to come into this fight. He knows that right hand is going to be, that's his bread and butter. That's Pereira's bread and butter. He knocked out Strickland with it.
Exactly. You know what he's going to do.
Yeah. And they're both counter fight strikers. And I think that's a lot of a kickboxing thing is bring him in, and then you attack. And I think this is going to be similar to Izzy versus Romero. It's going to be a boring fight. Pereira lost. His only fight was by submission, and then he just started knocking people out. So we know he trains with Glover Teixeira,
Yeah.
but his grappling is questionable. No one has tried to take him down in the UFC.
Yeah. Sorry.
And we know, well, I mean, what I was like, you know it. I know it. You know, Izzy's got good grappling with 185ers. Look what he did with Gastelum.
Yeah.
And I think Izzy's gonna, make it an MMA fight and not a kickboxing fight. I think if Pereira gets taken down once, he's gonna kind of like shell up. And like you said, he's gonna headhunt. He's looking for that knockout. Izzy knows he's looking for that knockout, and I think that's what's gonna cause Pereira to lose. I can see Izzy weathering the storm for the first 2 rounds and then pick up that pace in the 3rd round and then just absolutely put on a clinic in the championship rounds.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think it's going to be a finish. If it is, it's going to be the wrong end.
Some kind of crazy finish or something. Oh, yeah. Right.
But I think it's going to go 5 rounds. It's going to be a technical, not boring, a technical fight. And I'm going to say it. And still, Izzy's going to be the champion.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, Izzy doesn't have a single submission win on his record. So I don't know, he probably won't be looking for a finish, but
I don't think he'll look for a finish on the ground. I think he'll look for a control and ground and pound.
Get him off his feet, and probably ground and pound him, or even disrupting him and getting him off his feet, and then him knowing like, crap, he's gonna take me down again, and then Izzy can open up some strikes. He'll just have to bam, whatever.
I think Pereira's gonna, if Izzy feigns a takedown, Pereira's gonna bite hard, and Izzy's gonna just be able to start opening up.
Right. Yeah.
It'll be a later round that happens, though. I don't think it'll be the first 2 rounds. It's gonna beat him first.
Definitely, yeah. Be smart. Look to tire him out. Both fighters will probably try and do the same thing. Honestly, they'll play it out a little bit, then KO later on if they can.
I tell you, the first 2 minutes of the fight, it's going to be both of them trying to
dance.
Who's going to lead the dance?
Probably, yeah. All right, man. That was our UFC 281 full card preview. But next up, we have something special for you. Matt, tell them, what do we have?
We have way too early predictions. Ooh. Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz.
What?
Everyone thought, Silva's a great boxer, but he's also 47.
Man, it was a great fight.
Yeah. It was. But Diaz, he has trained with Andre Ward. We knew this fight was next.
Diaz can box.
He can. And now he doesn't have to worry about, kicks. So he's going to have full of his weight. I feel like Diaz would take this fight more serious because who's the fighter to beat right now?
Yeah. Because he'll want to, if he goes in and loses to Jake Paul, he doesn't look that serious of a boxer. But if he goes in and he beats Jake Paul, people are like, okay, maybe he really does want to box, Maybe he really has been saying, I want to box. I want to box. UFC, let me go. I want to box. He's been saying it for a long time. I think he's talented enough and people know so he's going to get his shot. Hopefully do see the Jake Paul fight because it's such a great matchup. He's definitely popular enough to get the fight with Jake Paul. He was in attendance at the fight. There was he was like, I don't know exactly what happened because I wasn't there, but they were talking trash. They were causing smack with each other's cams. Like they're looking to fight. They're already like pre-planning this fight. Like everybody's talking about it online. It seems like it's almost inevitable. like you said, dude. So, you know, it's really interesting to see what Diaz can do outside of MMA. Um, what the only thing I'm worried about is Jake Paul is probably going to be a lot bigger. He looks like in size, in muscle, he looks a lot bigger than Diaz to me. If I was seeing him Saturday night against Silva, um, and with all the damage and he's took that Diaz has took from MMA, um, it's you know you can get knocked out in boxing just as easy as you can MMA. You know, it's people get knocked out all day in boxing too. So I think there Jake has a good chance at power. You know, I don't think that it will be a same fight as Anderson Silva. Paul would make him fight like that. And I think if he doesn't, Jake might take over the fight, honestly. After seeing it, Jake Paul looks big to me, honestly, don't you think?
Yeah, I think it would be probably a 187 like the Silva fight was. And I think Nate Diaz, although he fights at 170, he walks around about 185. So he'll be fighting natural where Jake will be fighting cut. So that's always a factor. Another one too is after watching the Jake Paul Silva fight, Jake Paul, as of right now, has trouble fighting on his back foot. Every time Silva would pressure forward, he would shell up and then go for the clinch so he could get on the outside and push forward. When he gets up against the ropes, he's still young in the game, but
Right.
he's still. And I think with Nate Diaz pushing forward, like if he does like he does in MMA, he'll push that pace, and I think that's what make it interesting.
Yeah, he
If
will.
Jake is
He'll need
not a
to push
counter
the
strike.
pace. You're right. He'll need to learn from the Silva fight, but I don't know. It just seems like Jake probably was 200 pounds, and if they fight
Yeah,
at the 85 and Diaz is naturally that, and probably barely that, he might even come in underweight, at like 180 pounds. And Jake Paul is 20 pounds heavier. He'll be able to bully the crap out of him, even in boxing. He'll just be able to push him around because he'll have too much size advantage on him. So I'm kind of worried about that, honestly.
I think that's why he was clinching so much in the first 3 rounds on Silva, because Silva's another one that natural 205 when he would fight at
Yeah,
it,
right.
and fighting. Jake Paul's bigger than them, weighs on him. First 6 minutes of carrying another person's body weight makes your arms tired. And I
Yeah,
think
yeah, yeah.
Jake is smart. He knows the beginnings of boxing.
Nice, nice. So you think Jake's going to continue the streak, or will Nate shut him down?
You know, Looking at it right now, like today, Jake Paul is. I don't think it'll be a knockout, but I think Jake would get the decision.
I think so too. Yeah, yeah. I think Nate really needs to train hard. Maybe push this fight off 6 months. Nate may even need to have a boxing match or two just to see how he does, just to show everyone that he can box.
Yeah,
That could make or break a fight with Jake Paul for him, though. If he loses it or he performs poorly, they could be like, no, why would I want to fight him? So, he may need to fight him off the rip and then go from there.
yeah. Or if he fights, a 0-4 guy, then Jake's like, well, you're fighting these.
A bum,
Yeah.
yeah. So
I think it's got to be off the rip, which again gives Jake the advantage. Smart promoter.
sure does. Yeah, no, he's doing good for sure. I wish I could do that. I would love to do that. Box on an event like that and get paid hundreds of thousands of dollars. Shoot, that's like a dream for me. Shoot, be a dream come true.
One fight, all I need.
Right? Yeah, man. Then you'd be like, that was it? Let's do it a couple more times.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, man, that was pretty good. There you have it. There's our early look at Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz. Man, we hope that fight comes to brutalization and we see it on a pay-per-view in the near future. Until then, you will have to watch UFC 281 November 12th. You better order it. You better follow us on Facebook. I see you all where you're looking at us, but you're not liking our page. There's a couple people checking us out, but maybe it's because we're not posting enough on there. Maybe we need to amp up our content. Please subscribe to our page. It really helps us out. It helps you out. You can see this video first. Two dudes in a cage, UFC 281. Matt, what you got?
Comment. Let us know. Punch that like button.
Yeah.
Two dudes in a cage. We out.